Testing. All right, it's in the green zone. And I got my little markers in case I want to draw something. Maybe I'll get a new notepad one of these days. What is all right. Is this?
What do you think? Do you talk into the machine or talk to the video?
Yeah, I guess you can vary it up. Like you can talk to me if you want, so it's not like so fake or whatever. But we can look over to and you listeners out there, it's whatever. All right. And so it's Fraser. What's your last name?
Simpson.
Is it Fraser or Fraser?
Fraser.
Fraser. All right.
Scottish pronunciation.
Fraser.
Fraser.
Aye. All right. Celebrity Josh here with Fraser Simpson from Tax Mechanic.
Hello.
Or would you say taxmechanic.ca? What would be the official name of your company?
Tax mechanic.
All right, Tax Mechanic. And you are an accountant.
I am. I qualified as a chartered accountant in '93 and been helping out taxpayers ever since.
Excellent. I am a taxpayer. I paid a lot of tax on this juice right now. This was $6.72. So here's a business tip for you. Sell juice at Starbucks. It's like the size of a finger. But that's, I discovered you on Instagram, and I thought your business sounded very interesting. And I love talking about money and how to save money and make money. But you were saying you specialize in a specific area of tax.
Specifically, I deal with delinquent taxpayers and problems. So if typically a taxpayer will come to me with 10 years unfiled returns, and it can be a significant debt. I mean, if you make $100,000 a year, you're looking at about $500,000. And these people are in big trouble. So they come to me and I'll file what's known as a voluntary disclosure program. And it's an application that Revenue Canada has to allow the taxpayer to file without penalty. And so they can just got to pay their tax and interest, and they can get on with their lives. And I've been doing that exclusively now for about the last 3 years. And essentially Canada's top VDP specialist. We're sitting in tax court right now. I'm here, 2 or 3 times a week. I have an office right around the corner, and enjoy doing it. Like helping out people.
So tax court is in this building upstairs?
Upstairs.
Ah, okay. Did you just say if you make $100,000 a year, you could have $500,000 owing in taxes?
Yeah, because what will happen is you'll have, say $20,000 a year in tax, then you have interest, and it's for 10 years, and then there's penalties. The penalties are very sophisticated and complicated, but you have various levels. So you have one penalty for not filing. You have another penalty for not filing 2 years in a row, not filing for 3 years in a row, and so on. So your tax, say, could be $250,000, will turn into $500,000.
Yikes! Yeah, so I can imagine that would be stressful, and most people would just be, I'll just disappear. I'm not going to pay my taxes.
That's what they end up. I hear the stories all the time. It's, I missed a 1 year. 1 year became 2. I didn't know how to deal with it. When it becomes 8 or 9, it becomes overwhelming with the penalties. You don't know who to turn to. And this is what a lot of taxpayers are in this position. And because they're self-employed, they go under the radar because Revenue Canada doesn't know they're making this money. But then eventually they go to the bank, or their wife finds out, or they got to get some credit or buy a house, and you need notice assessment for each thing. Now you got to come clean. And it happens a lot, and people come to me, just want to get on with their lives and fix their credit and fix their tax problems and continue.
Yeah, because I had a friend, she does a lot of entrepreneurial stuff like massage and crystal ball readings and stuff, but she hadn't done her taxes for years, and it was this. So I hooked her up with my accountant, and they finally dug into it. But just going through all the old receipts for like 10 years, and she was so stressed every year, and she'd dropped off the radar. But I think she finally got it collected, and then you move on with your life. So unless you're going to live in a box or in the woods, you sort of need to be eventually deal with it.
You do. Well, the banks right now, the first thing they do, even on a remortgage, they will, request a notice assessment right away, and they can check that now with Revenue Canada. So if you don't have your taxes paid, you could be even owing $1,000, you won't qualify. So these people obviously haven't filed for 10 years, you won't qualify. And what happens is you can get some sophisticated people, like I've had construction guys that have been building homes and everything, and they owe millions of dollars. And they come to me, and imagine how happy they are after I save $1 million in penalties. They are very happy. Yeah. And I enjoy doing it. These people, they come to me stressed. 2 weeks later, they leave and they're very happy. I get I tell everybody my goal is to get the good Google testimonial. That's all I want. Sure, I do money and everything else like that, but that testimonial makes me know, I've done a good job. Somebody's on their way and I've contributed. It feels great.
And I think, even just for your own business, making people happy, saving them money, pleasing them long term is better than just, I'm going to get a couple more bucks out of this person once, and then they're going to tell all their friends they hate me or whatever, It's
I did that for years where I was, a tax guy. I minimized tax for rich people, and I made lots of money, and it wasn't gratifying. There was no contribution there. Now I've got, literally every day I've got, an example. There was a wife called me the other day, and she was in her neighbor's driveway, and there was a car came up in her driveway, and a guy got out, knocked, banging on the door with documents. It was a Revenue Canada collection agency looking for her husband, and said,
"I'm not married. I don't know. I'm single. I'm on Tinder. I got nothing."
And she says, why are you looking for my husband? Well, he hasn't filed in 10 years. Oh. So then later on, this is a very funny story because they came and they met me in a Starbucks and told me this. And then so I said to the husband, I said, wow, it must have been an interesting conversation when you got back home. And then I'm looking at her and she was smiling and that. And I go, geez, he's doing, and he goes, yeah, I had to basically, I've been keeping it from her for all this time. But he was paying all the bills. They had 2 houses, they had cottages, cars, everything. But so he didn't need, but finally this happened, right? So the wife was so understanding, and so these two were completely in love. I was like, wow, man, you guys got, I told the guy, I said, you got to get a medal or something for, best husband in the world or something, because I think most people, would have been a little bit more angry with you, right?
Well, I find that when wives have 2 houses and you buy them boats and stuff, they'll be like, he didn't pay the taxes, that's fine. I feel like, not that I know, I don't have lots of houses.
That's not an official tax mechanic position, by the way, okay? No. That's...
But happy wife, happy life is that's a motto we all live by.
Exactly.
I don't even have a girlfriend, but if I had one, I would keep her happy. Wow. So you're not just doing taxes. People are like, I got my taxes. It's like saving people, taking this burden off them.
Another one that we had is I've had actually the most famous tax case in Canadian history was the one with yachts being built, and there was a tax shelter scheme back in the 80s, and the top guy for that actually spent almost 2 years in prison for it, has come to me. And he wants to clean up his act. After a year, he owes about $600,000, but he finally, he's been out of jail. He's doing well and everything, but now he just wants to move on. Yeah. And he's the funniest guy, nicest guy. I know, it's not a good thing what he did in that, but I'm going to do an interview with him one day, and you're going to see the story. But now he's stuck with this, huge debt, and trying to, in Revenue Canada, as you can imagine, not very amiable about the conversations with me. So I've had to go to kind of a higher level and go, okay, listen, I know you
don't like him. Can we move past that?
Plus, he did 2 years in prison, okay? I think he's paid his debt, right? Yeah. But some other people would say, no, I don't think so. But anyway, that's quite rewarding doing that, too. And it's quite interesting.
Yeah. This is okay. So if you think accounting is boring, it doesn't have to be. It's a whole thing. It's like this guy comes out of prison, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. It's like, okay, I'll do your taxes, whatever. Wow, that's pretty exciting. Any big things going on this week? Is it tax season now? So is this like your hot season? Is your Christmas?
You know what, really isn't. Because I do delinquent taxes, it's all year round.
It's always tax. They never.
And in fact, during the summer, even during Christmas, I tell you, my busiest time this year so far has been the first week after New Year's. Because people go, okay, it's a New Year's resolution. I'm going to clean up my tax. Oh, the phone's ringing off the hook, right? And then during the summer, you would think, who would do it? But if they're at the cottage and they go, I got some time now. May as well, they go on Facebook. There I am. I'm everywhere. So they call me and you've got some time and do it, right?
Because I usually do my taxes late, if I'm not owing. And so it's usually by the summer or even September, I'm like, if I got to sit down and do it. But then it's so stressful. But over the years, I've tried to figure out easier ways to do it. I used to like have all my paper receipts and then write them by hand and then have a calculator, and then I started putting the receipts in Excel. But now I've got apps where it just automatically imports all my credit card bills, and I can just see in a chart. And so, do you find that things are getting easier with technology now?
Well, absolutely. And in fact, all it takes for somebody 10 years behind, just give us a call. We've got the latest software. I've got a crackerjack team of professionals that will get everything done and filed within 2 weeks. That's our kind of our mantra to, I'll approach Revenue Canada, tell them that I've been engaged. Once they know that I'm involved, they relax because I deal with so many. They know that it's going to get filed, and they know it's going to get filed within 2 weeks. And I tell the client right there, you got 2 weeks. And I'll make sure that, documents, whatever, no excuses, you get done. You pay your tax or you come up with a payment arrangement. I'll help you with that as well. But your problem is solved 2 weeks later. And I make sure that happens. So it's very stress-free. All you got to do is pick up the phone.
Yeah, no, that's great, because whenever I'm afraid to do my taxes or afraid to do anything, if I feel like it's open-ended and I don't know when this is going to end, it's like I don't even want to start. But if I know, if I start today, in 2 weeks we can celebrate and whatever, go for dinner and hey,
Absolutely. I give you a 2-week date. I go, this is your date. And by that date, you're going to be filed. This problem's going to be finished. Right. And they like that. It gives them a goal and it makes them feel relaxed right away. And makes it a little bit urgent too, so that they get me all the documentation that I need. The other thing with documentation, a lot of times, like T4s, I get that right in Revenue Canada, so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just income and expenses, and I've got spreadsheets of all various corporations so that I can basically guesstimate, within reason, for almost any business. So I can do it very quickly for you, and I make sure it gets done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, because that's what I've been telling even my neighbor lately. She's like, I got to find my T4s. I'm like, I think that's all online now. You just log in. They've got all. So it used to be like, I go through my mail. Where's my letters from 10 years ago? But they've got pretty much all. They know everything. And then, you can add and a lot of it is estimation now. It's not like, okay, where's she just asked if I wanted a receipt for this juice. I'm like, no, it's, because first of all, it'll be in the records somewhere digitally, but also my accountant said, it's like, okay, this is basically the amount that an entrepreneur would spend on food in a year. Like, see, you kind of estimate things so it's not sending out red flags, and they can go, yeah, it's reasonable. It's not necessarily about, okay, now I got to sit there for the next 6 months going, how much did I spend on a pen 8 years ago or whatever, right?
Exactly.
So that's great. All right, so yeah, it's now sounding like an infomercial. Pick up the phone. Do you remember those infomercials from like the 80s when it was the guy, like before there was internet, and you want to meet women, you call 1-800-HOT-CHICKS and you pick up the phone. They're waiting for your call. Anyways, I'm dating myself. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't. Just if you've got a problem and you're feeling overwhelmed, you can call me.
Lots of problems that I'm feeling.
Tax problem.
Right.
If you got a tax problem, call me. My number is 647-884-1216.
We'll put it in the description below.
Go to my website. I've got lots of articles there. I've got an ebook. Read my ebook. I've been published in Maclean's magazine. You can read that article. It's a very good article. It describes the whole process. And give us a call. And like I said, in 2 weeks, your problem can be solved.
Can I quickly draw your logo?
Sure.
Here, hold my mic. Now, I vaguely remember what it looked like from the website. This is a blank piece of paper, so it's the magic trick. I think there was a TAX, and I know there was a big, what do you call it, like a wrench coming out of one of the letters.
The adjustable wrench out of the X.
At the X.
Or, no, out of the X here.
Oh, the X here. Yeah. Okay, right. So there it is.
Yeah. Very good.
.ca. Look at that. This could be the thumbnail for the video.
If you need a cartoonist.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. I do celebrity interviews and I draw cartoons on the red carpet with them. So you're like a celebrity accountant now. Have you actually done taxes for celebrities? So I guess celebrities maybe aren't so delightful.
I have. I've actually right now, because of confidentiality, but I'm doing a prominent mayor in Ontario that nobody really knows about, but needs calm because Elections Canada is to follow him and make sure that he's filed his taxes. So it's kind of interesting. I've got the Trailer Park Boys, not one of them, but somebody associated with...
An actual boy who lives in a trailer?
No, one of the people involved in that has come to me. So I get them from, I've had an astronaut, I've had very well-known people. So I've had police officers, firemen, everybody. It's amazing how many people get caught in this. And once they find out with their friends and word of mouth, they come to me. They know that I'll get the job done. They know from my history in tax court, I never lose.
Nice.
And because I make sure that I've got, my ducks in a row before I go in. I know what they'll accept, what they won't. I won't go in if I don't have these things. And if I got a bad case and the client's pushing me, I'll say, no, I won't go in because I'll lose. So that's why they know. Once I get into court, the judges know me. They go, look, they know that I'm going to give them the documentation. I usually say there'll be 3 cases, and I'll usually say, do me first because it's only going to take 5 minutes. Win and out. And so I make sure I want that record too, right? So testimonials, never lose in court, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I find that in almost any business, if you can make their job easier, so if the judge knows, listen, he's going to know his stuff, he doesn't want to spend all day on this. He's like,
I don't want to waste the court's time either. And I try to say that with not only the court, but taxpayers out there. I mean, if you owe taxes, file. Don't argue in court and everything. They're reasonable people. They're people as well. And if you talk to them and negotiate and be reasonable, they'll be reasonable with you.
Yeah. Did the astronaut have a good excuse? Is he like, I was in space for 10 years, so how am I going to file?
It was a female astronaut, and she was.
Oh, that was sexist of me to assume.
She was. She's actually one of the most brilliant people in Canada. So think of that.
Well, it's not rocket science. Oh, it is. See what I did there? Yeah.
But she traveled like everywhere, and she was actually, So I go, okay, I understand that, right? But then I said to her, I go, you're probably one of the smartest people in Canada, but you haven't filed your taxes. That's not very. She goes, yeah, remember what Einstein said, right? It was the hardest thing to understand was tax.
Ha! Well, there you go. But it must be, if anybody's watching this and they're thinking, oh my God, I haven't done my taxes, I must be some kind of loser, like I'm alone. But you can hear like some of the most prominent people in Canada are like, oh, just lets it slip, so you can just get it taken care of, and you're in good company. And you're in fact almost cooler that you haven't done your taxes. You got astronauts and mayors doing that too.
Yeah. Look at Donald Trump.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. We can't see his taxes. Maybe he's done them. Maybe he hasn't.
No idea.
It's fine, whatever. But he's all right. He's doing fine. We were he had the Trump Tower, but they've renamed it the Adelaide, and then now it's called the St. Regis. I'm thinking of selling my condo. Maybe I'll move in there. Who knows? You can help me with that. Great. All right. Well, thanks so much. Again, it's taxmechanic.ca, and hopefully we can do like weekly videos and instruct people about their tax information.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.